Well, on behalf of everyone here, I got to say, I think we all want to thank you for carrying the torch all these years. You're one of the original beats. You're here tonight. You're spreading the spirits.
It's not that heavy.
Thank you for being here today.
Randy just said it's so heavy it's light.
Next on our agenda is a young man that I spent a lot of time with in an Airstream RV for months and months at a time. Somebody's got to do it, I guess. How about if we give a warm welcome to Mr. John Allen Cassady.
Well, thank you, Jerry, very much, and I'll tell you what, it's an honor to be here, especially with such company. And, you know, McClure, does he still look great or not? I mean, I mean, for 35 years old, the guy's pretty well positioned. You know, I first met him in 1960 in Big Sur on a beach under Bixby Canyon with my father and two sisters and my mother. And Neal had just gotten out of, well, he was a guest of the state for a couple of years. And he'd just gotten out, he bought this 1904 Willys Overlander. And we went down there. It was the original, you know, kind of hippie van. I mean, he had the mattress and the windows covered with curtains in the back and everything. And it was a wild ride. And I think Jack wrote about this in his book On the Road from 1960. And McClure was down there, and some of the other usual suspects. And can you hear me?
Speak up a little.
Okay. And you know, I think my mother Carolyn had a crush on you, Michael, but I'm not going there right now. My mother, by the way, is still alive and well. She's still kicking. She's 83 years old. Lives in London, England. And she actually, I printed this out but didn't have time to read it today, so she actually emails me almost daily. And I feel like I have to, you know, answer her emails or I'm a bad son, right? I mean, I'm not sure how long she's going to be around, but she's still kicking. She's writing and painting and gardening. She just wrote her autobiography, 400 pages. Just knocked that out in a couple of years, and she goes, well, you can't read it until after I'm gone because there's some really juicy sex parts in it. I'm all, geez, Mom. But you know what? I said, nothing's going to surprise me, you know, at my age. But she wanted to remind me, she heard about this little soiree tonight, and she couldn't help but remind me that she was actually the first one to North Beach out of the gang, you know, all the usual suspects. And she turned these guys onto the place, which I thought was appropriate. And of course she's going to remind me, I mean, she's very humble about all this, but I think that she was these guys' muse and inspiration and a very integral part of what came to be. Especially it's appropriate for this grand opening and in this neighborhood. For example, she moved out here, I think it was in 1947. And she got an apartment. She'd been at the University of Denver as a graduate student in the fine arts. That's where she met Neal and eventually Jack Kerouac and Allen Ginsberg. And she moved out here. She had a girlfriend that lived here. Her sister lived right over East Bay, Concord, I believe, her older sister. So she had some contacts, and she was going to do some graduate work. And I think she wanted to go down to Hollywood, be a makeup artist and a costume designer and a set designer and all that stuff. And can you hear me out there? Okay, well, I'll eat the mic a little bit. How's that? So here's Carolyn out here in North Beach in 1947, and Neal followed her out here from Denver, and he had no concept about the city or how it worked or anything like that. I mean, he'd been to New York plenty, and he was pretty, you know, worldly, but she emailed, is John Beliska here? This is actually an email, thank you, John, to you. I don't know if you got it yet or not, but I was on copy. I just got this morning. I mean, you know, I can't even start on all the tales of Jack Allen, Bill Burroughs, and everyone else, and Carolyn Cassady in North Beach, California. Although she was really, you know, such an integral part of these guys' development that, you know, of course I'm biased, but I've got to give a plug to old Carolyn because she's one of the last ones, the original resources left, if you will, besides Al Hinkle and McClure and a few others. You know, a lot of them have left us already. This is an email dated Wednesday, September 27th. And she's writing to John Belisco, who's right here, who's going to do a tour of North Beach, I believe. One of those, or something like that. She goes, now then, this is like she does, you know, because she doesn't want to, you know, go overboard about her. She's very humble about all this stuff. I don't know if you've read my book, Off the Road. Here's another shameless plug. Although it's out of print. It came out in 1991, and she's written a revision of it, where she was kind of blocked from using some Kerouac letters by parties that we won't bring up right now. It's a long story. I won't go into that. But she just paraphrased the letters. She wrote a huge revision requested by Paul Slovak of Penguin Viking. And so look for that hopefully next year. A shameless plug from my mother's book. She says...